Well, all right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another stream this weekend. Hopefully, you had a good week, and yeah, welcome. So, hey, Insane Gaming. Hey, what are your PC specs, by the way? Well, my specs are actually, I think maybe, can we see them here? I was thinking you can see them in the little thing up there, but I have like a 12th gen i7. It's like the i7s that were on discount a while back. And a GTX 1070, which is, I'm not sure, like 8, 9 years old or something like that. Really old 1070. So yeah, it's a good spec for me. I mean, it's kind of a targeted platform, at least at the moment, kind of mid to low end. So when it comes to like the graphic card. Yeah. All right, so as usual, first updates is I've updated the engine to 5.3. So there we go. It's that was spent a good I mean a few maybe hours just kind of doing some tests and before migrating to it, and everything works. It's just as before. I also did a test build to make sure that everything still builds properly, and so that worked great as well. Everything works in 5.3. Kind of looking forward to 5.4 because it seems that 5.3 was just kind of a short skip between like 5.2 and 5.4. But yeah, I wanted to upgrade to 5.3 just to make sure like the plugins are working and everything else that I have in place. And also, I've used this MetaTailer tool uh, to kind of work out the work that you know make the workflow of getting some of the clothes I got from Sketchfab, and existing clothes uh, from some of the packages that I bought, to get them into the engine, and skinned to the characters, just like this one is here for this one character. And so yeah, that was a good part of yesterday, just trying to get that going. Hey, Imran, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Yeah, so also another thing that I did, and I'll show you in a little bit, is I was kind of working on, finding some ways to optimize things in the world. Yes, this is a metahuman, and actually you can see him. Let me jump into game mode. I can interact with him and show you how he looks up close and when you actually interact with an NPC. But I need to hide this arrow that he has here real quick because I don't need to see that all the time. Hey, Atlantica, welcome. Glad to have you. Yes, so Imran, this is kind of how it looks when you interact with one of these guys. Um, so depending on the dialogue, he's gonna play the facial animation, and in this case, it's just picking up the device, and then he would just go into his default state, and so yeah, if you jump around, he's like looking at you once when you're in his like focus area. So yeah, now I have that. Unfortunately, this mission I already completed. Yeah, so I showed this last time where I'm thinking this is the way to go forward when it comes um, to having the missions. It's kind of out of place at the moment. It's a little bit too far to center, but it's going to be like one of those on your if you have like a headset with a microphone, it'd be kind of like that where you can lower it and then put it back up or something to remove it out of sight, so to speak. Yeah. So let's jump into kind of the main world, and I'll show you some of what I've done as far as trying to optimize things, and some of the stuff that I've tried, and some of the stuff that kind of worked, stuff that works and stuff that doesn't, or at least it didn't really work for me. Maybe I didn't do it the right way, but and there's also a lack of documentation on some things, but. So yeah, let's load into the main level here, and we'll go over this a little bit. Um, yeah, and I have noticed from the method that I'm using is called pack level actors, and I'll show you what I did for that. And the stuff that I've tried is also I've tried the hierarchical LODs, to build those, but those yielded no results, so at least not anything that I could visibly tell that was anything happening. When you go and debug the hierarchical LODs, there's nothing showing. Maybe it doesn't work for level instances. I'm not entirely sure. But what has worked is the pack level actors, and we'll look at that real quick. Not sure if I can't remember if I shown this um, last week, but the perfect example will be um, in that residential houses area where there's a lot of kind of similar the modular where the modular houses are at, and a lot of those houses are built out of these modular pieces. That's where a pack level actor it is like where it shines. That's where uh, that's where I use it. All right, so let's load into this. Just taking a little bit longer. I'm not sure why. Because I haven't loaded into this level too much ever since I moved. I've upgraded to 5.3, and preparing these textures is just kind of, I'm not sure if it's an issue with the engine or what it is. Um, and the shaders. Let's see, what is this showing here? Yeah, it's preparing some shaders, so bear with me for a little bit. And I think I was kind of thinking I'd be able to move around here while it's preparing the shaders. But again, 1070. It's a grandfather of video cards at this point, so it's not the quickest. But well, at least I was able to select this level instance. So yeah, it seems like a big part of the stalls when you see these numbers up here is due to preparing shaders. And I was trying to figure out why do I have so many stalls, but it's like every time it's like I'm changing a shader or something like that, it seems like it it adds up to this stat here. Um, Maybe there's other, points that do that, but there's no way at least I couldn't figure out a way to find out why are these occurring. I think you might have to go into like a little bit better, debugging tools, and I know there is like a couple in here. Not sure if those are going to tell you that, okay, it stalls because of, preparing shaders or, whatever else it's trying to do here. Like the construction scripts, and there's like a ton of stuff going on in the back. Hey, Cursor is live. Welcome, welcome. All right, so it's almost there. It's blowing through these shaders now pretty quickly. Oh, that's good. All right, so let's see. Hopefully it is completed. I thought it was. And it always has more shaders to compile. Hopefully this is, I think it's just a 5.3 thing because like I said, uh, they blew past 5.3. I think it was like the shortest lived version. Um, so yeah. Anyways, let's take a look at what I meant by the pack level actors. So right up in here, where we have the work that we've done last week, If you recall, some of these this level instance was made out of these individual houses, right? And let's go in and edit them. Now the way they used to be like each one of these was like an individual piece, right? So what I ended up doing is I've turned this into what is called a pack level actor. So if we go into one of these, it's actually really cool. Um, you'll see the house is still here, it just looks like that. But and it's made out of, if I try to select one of these, it's kind of it's you can't really do it because it turns them into like this hierarchical instance mesh. And the cool thing of it is there's like two instances of these. See, there's this one, and I think there might be another one over here, right? Um, so basically, it just everything that's the same, the same piece. Like for example, this corner piece here. There's like there's like 14 of these. So it just instances them in a way so that this particular house before, it had a lot of I cannot recall what the number of it was. It had a lot of draw calls, and um, and now it is down to a fraction of that, which was really awesome. So for assets like this, at least in my case, it seems to have improved performance quite a lot. And so now each one of these houses is a hierarchical level actor. And of course, I could have, because I kind of rushed through it just to test it out. Like I could have done it a little bit better, where maybe the fence is not part of it. Right now it is, but yeah, as the initial test, this was a really good thing to see. I'm not sure if I've done all of them. I think I might have. Yeah, there we go. So they're all like their own um, packed level actors. And so the one thing that I wish, and this is my bad, I wish I would have had like a before and after. Let me see. Maybe I have a backup of this level, so we can show a quick comparison between what it was before without the pack level actors and what it is now. My bad. I thought I had them, but I think um, I cannot recall. I think I was this this was not. Uh, I usually try to like keep track of those, like these optimization changes, but apparently I did not get around to do it. So now there's like all these. I think before it used to be like in the 8,000 area for the primitive for the draw calls. It's still a lot, but another way to do it is whenever you have one of these levels and you use word partition like I am, there is the runtime grid. So, setting this as large assets, if it's something that you want to see from a distance, whereas the interiors would be like maybe a small assets that you only see once you get up close. So that's another part of the optimization. I'm hoping there'll be some documentation coming out, like they have a little bit of documentation on the HLOD, but even after building it, and it took about an hour to build it, for this entire level. Even after building it, it did not. When you can go and you can like do your um, hierarchical LOD coloration, and it did not show as anything was built. So I'm not sure if um, that doesn't work properly or what. But the pack level actors is was huge, and I'll show you in the where the chemical plant is. That is the biggest. That was also a really big change because I don't have like a single merge actor that is like of a huge size. 50, 60 megabytes just for that one mesh. But now it's just an entire building is one of these pack level actors. So for me, this has improved performance quite a bit. I'm really happy with the result. Yeah, Cursor is live. You know the game The Order? Oh yeah, I've heard of it. It was a game that I've been meaning to play for a while, but I just didn't. I never really got around to it. Um, so yeah. Um, so let's jump into game mode real quick. I just wanted to show you kind of a comparison when it's in game mode as well. Um, oh, Atlantica, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that idea as well. Hey, Hisham, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so as you can see now, it's kind of like the draw calls are like, 14, 1500. If I look this way, there's a couple of levels that are not on a grid. And that's why you can see like these jumping up quite a bit and like the frame rate drops. But down this way, like the amount of let me close this meta tailor tool. I'm not entirely sure if that takes away some of my video card resources as well. I think it might have because it just went up to like 45 frames. But um, but yeah, let's actually climb up here and get into that town area. Um, and we'll see how it looks. Yeah, and that's what I liked about it. Like I remember seeing a lot of previews for it. I can't remember what engine they use. But yeah, I remember that order, looking quite amazing. All right, so let's kind of walk down here. Actually, haven't walked down here before. Still need to fix that collision. And now, like, yeah, like the draw calls have grown quite a bit, but I think most of it is from the kind of the chemical plant being that way and not being on a grid as properly as you should. But let me kind of go down here and look at the houses like this way. Yeah, so see like the draw calls have dropped significantly when when I only have like the areas with these houses, these kind of pack level actors that are in view. So yeah, still to be, it can be better, but yeah, that was something that I've been trying to find, and like I said, with probably after this um, building the H loads could also help. But again, I'm hoping to find like some reliable documentation. Tutorials are sparse, like very few to say the least when it comes to HLODs in like like Unreal Engine 5. It worked perfect in Unreal Engine 4, but in 5 I can't really tell if it's like, the word partition plays a part into it or what it is. Imran, yeah, I'm using a combination of some marketplace assets along with Quixel assets, and like for example, these houses here, they're from a marketplace package, and it's a really awesome package if you guys are interested. And yeah, one other thing that I did, and some of you might find it interesting, is now you can see there's like a little bit more depth back there. Like over here as well. It seems like the world expands a little farther back. It's not just this little area, and that is it. So what that is, if you're interested, it's actually something really simple. And I've added it to the kind of the sky blueprint. So what it is just this little outline, which is just a kind of a cylinder, um, cut back, with the material applied to it that has like a just a vista to it, and it looks kind of like this. And that gives a little bit more depth to it, so it's kind of like, oh, there's something all the way back there. And not just kind of limiting. uh, the player to this area, or I mean, limiting the view. I mean, the play area is going to be just this, but you can see there's something back there in the on the horizon. Like if you look back there. Hisham, I did not change the lighting. It's still the same. Actually, now that you did mention it, let me see. I think I might have played around with yeah, because it's a lot darker in here. Let me see. I know I played around with the skylight and I deleted the cube map. Oh, my bad. Let me see. What do I want to use? Maybe one of these. It was really dark. Um, Yeah, let me that's I can't recall like when I thought I because I was playing around with the real-time capture, but then I went about and kind of messed around with it. And let me see, where is the daylight intensity? Oh yeah, and I put this down. Why did I put it down to half? Yeah, so I was just playing around with these and yeah, there we go. That's a little bit more like it. I think it can be bumped up even a little more. Let me move this to the side here. But yeah, that's also what I wanted to share with y'all. It's just basically it's just a texture that looks like this and applied on a cylinder. So yeah. And let me see about this one, this ambient cube map. I was trying to do it with like a real-time capture for the skylight, but just didn't look as good. I mean, I didn't really like it, so I kind of like to have a cube map just for the consistency if I do choose to use, other um, times of day. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. Let me see if I bump up the intensity for the skylight a little bit. There we go. I think that's better. What do you think, Hisham? Let's see if we go into any other kind of wooded areas. I think that's almost as it was before. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Uh, but um, but yeah, like I said, I did not realize that I deleted the cube map and I didn't put one back on because after that I just spent time, testing to make sure that the project builds properly in 5.3 and so yeah. Quitzer Z3, Hills Mountains look very nice. Thank you. Well, so if you're referring to the stuff that's back here or the stuff that's like up close, if you're referring to the stuff that's all the way back there, um, it's um, it's basically what it is. Let me just bring this here. It's um, just a simple static mesh that looks like this. And let me see if I can show. So yeah, hopefully you can tell what it is. So it's just a cylinder that essentially is part of my Sky blueprint, and it has this material applied to it that has these kind of rolling hills. So if that's what you were asking, everything else is just landscape. Yeah, Hisham, and that's the thing. I was playing around with the indirect, and like for example, down here, right? You'd have some indirect lighting happening. Let me move this to the side. Excuse me. Um, so yeah, I think if we were to look at there's a couple of places that you can do it. So one of them is in like the directional light. So, kind of bumping up the indirect lighting for the directional light. That could have an effect. I kind of like it a little low, so one or two because it just adds a little bit too much artifacts. And what I do like to play is with the post-process volumes. So in the post-process volume, there's a few settings that around global illumination, and mostly the ones that I like to work with is the diffuse color boost and the skylight leaking. So I use these quite a lot for like interior lighting and uh, and also the full skylight leaking to get some of the skylight into the interiors. But yeah, I think this one is fine like this. I mean, what tools did you use to? Oh, great question. So the landscape itself, I'm not going to take full credit for it because it's originally from a package on the marketplace, and that I ended up just kind of, sculpting manually. But it started originally, I believe, like just as a height map. So you can generate a height map. There's a couple of websites online that you can generate height map from like real world locations, and then just generate the landscape based off of that. So Imran, distance mountain is just a material. No, distance mountain is basically this. Hopefully you can tell from um, it's this outline here. So it's literally just a cylinder, not a very tall cylinder. And if you look at the let me see, where did you see UVs? So if you look at the UVs, this is kind of how the UVs look like. So yeah, it's a like I said, the cylinder is no top, no bottom, just the sides. But yeah, hopefully, Imran, hopefully that gives you an idea. And Quitzer, the package name, I believe, let me see, one second. Marketplace. It is called, I believe, Desert Landscape. I'm not gonna steer you wrong. Um, it was a free package at one time, I believe. That's how I had it. Um, because I'm paying attention to every single free stuff that's out there monthly, which is great. That was a great thing to have. Let me see if it's in my Epic launcher, because I think over there I can see my vault and I can tell you exactly what it is. Um, Let me see, library here. So I believe it was something desert, not desert, or something landscape. Desert Hills. No, that's not it. Um, Maybe Spring Landscape. Like I said, I think it might have been the Dead Hills Landscape or this Spring Landscape. I don't want to. I think it might have been this one. Yeah, this looks a little closer to what I have. So yeah, it was one of those two. I think the Desert Landscape was, or Desert Hills. Actually, yeah. Yeah, see, I don't even recognize it anymore after I've done all the sculpting on my end. But it was one of these two. So yeah, I started off with something that was already out there. I didn't sculpt it myself. But when before doing this, I used to sculpt things myself and just sculpt them with world um, things generated from world height map. So there is, I think it's like terrain dot something, like a website where you can input a like a geolocation, and it would you can generate the height map off of that. So yeah. Okay. Well, so with that said, that was like I said, it wasn't too many updates for this week. Didn't get around to do, work was also a little bit busy, and I didn't get to do as much work as I was hoping for. The main one was the, you know, what my plan was to migrate to 5.3 and make sure, everything, still, builds properly and everything works, which that worked. Um, and yeah, that was kind of the main highlight of the week. Um, those warehouse models on Marketplace, yes, they are, and I believe they were also free at one point. There's a lot of free assets that I have here, just like the monthly stuff. And yeah, these were actually some really good looking looking assets on the marketplace. And sorry, Hisham, I forgot about your question. What does the diffuse color boost do? So I can show you. This is kind of like a perfect environment, like an interior that I can show you what that does. Let me close some of these here. Yeah, so I'm having lots of FPS errors with metahumans. Well, so it depends on the LODs. Like I've used the LOD sync component that they have to remove like LOD 0 and 1. So I'm like starting at LOD 2, and that takes away a ton of procedural needs. Let's call it that way. Hey, Gitish, welcome, welcome. Doing all right. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yes, so Hisham, let me show you here. This would be a good place for the example into this like interior warehouse. What happens when you adjust these values? So the diffuse color boost. Let's start with that. Let's put this at 0. This is exactly what the result is. So you get a little bit more. It seems like it injects a little bit more light into the scene. Um, you don't want to go too crazy with it also, and I think it limits to 4. I think the top value you can go is 4, but a little bit extra added to it. Then the skylight leaking, if you set it to 0, let's see, and then the max is zero point 0.2. It allows for a little bit for a little bit more of the skylight lighting to come inside here. So if your skylight is going to be like a kind of a red color, I think you can get a little bit more red in here. But mine is pretty neutral, so you're not seeing a lot of changes. Then the skylight leaking distance, this is also pretty good. I'm not sure exactly. I can't remember where I used this one. Um, where was it beneficial? Don't quote me on it because this part, I know I've said it in some other interiors and it was helping quite a bit. But I think with the diffuse color boost is the one that gives you like kind of the most dramatic change in how your interiors would look when it comes to lumen, you know. So, and it's kind of dealer's choice, however lit up you wanna have this. So Hisham, hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of what I'm doing with the interiors. And also for interiors, just as an addition to that, I adjust the exposure a little bit so that the exterior looks a little bit more lit up than so that way, when you transition from inside to outside, you get this little kind of a little bit of a transition effect, right? Um, So, kind of playing around with the main AV and these two values. Of course, this can also be set, I believe, to not, it doesn't have to be an auto exposure histogram, because if you don't use these, if you don't use the defaults, they're not gonna do anything. I don't think this really matters. But yeah, see, like right now, it's a little bit more lit up outside, as you're kind of like the eye adaptation, if you think of it, and now it's just adapts to what's uh, from the inside, from the transition from interiors to exteriors. All right. Well, this area is kind of messy. So Hisham, what about the metahumans? Can I make it use the LOD sync for everything? And exactly, yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. And I think I might have, I think I might have added to the face as well. So the face, I've brought it to like LOD 1, so kind of removing a bunch of the bones that I'm not really using in a facial animation as much. So, but yeah, that has also helped quite a bit with my performance when it comes to metahumans. Now, again, um, I do not have um, a ton of metahumans, just the ones that you're going to interact with. Everybody else is just going to be static with a very low LOD. So yeah. Oh, Gitish, thank you. Oh yeah, that's awesome. And but I think that's going to be the same kind of methodology that they're going to do it, in that way, where they got this LOD sync component, and they're able to, tell, okay, just use like a LOD 4, starting at LOD 4, that's when you're not gonna start at LOD 0. But I'm curious to see how that's gonna be. Um, and I'm assuming it's gonna translate to the engine as well. But yeah, if anybody's using Unreal Engine Fortnite, I'd be curious to see what the difference is, and if people are able to compare that to Unreal, I'd be curious about that. If it's something completely different, or if it's still that LOD sync component. Okay, well, so yeah, those were kind of some of the updates. What I was thinking of doing today is, I mentioned last week that this area is a little barren here. And what I ended up, excuse me, what I ended up doing is also play around with what I just mentioned with the pack level actors. And this particular, the reason I really like this package, and this is like the residential houses package on the marketplace. Um, Besides the uh, the big variety of stuff that comes with it, it also has a bunch of pre-made houses, which is probably what takes I mean, it would take a long time to do it, especially that it has interiors. So if you recall, one of the interiors for one of my places here, let me see, hopefully I can move a little slower. So this interior here, this is out of that package. So having, all these interiors and the exteriors as well, I think it's saves a ton of time. Hey, Gitish. Yeah. Oh, yeah, academic work, that's good for you, I have to say. Yeah, go ahead, have fun, and hopefully I'll see you in tomorrow's stream. All right, take care. All right, so yeah, I just wanted to show that. So, everything in here is from that same package, which is you don't really see that in a lot of packages nowadays. Like there's, a bunch of exteriors along with interiors. So the cool part about this is that it came with these pre-built um, houses. So what I did, let me see if I have it here. I believe is it this one? I think this might be the interior. So yeah, there we go. So we have the interiors here. And again, as you can see, a lot of them are made out of all these individual pieces, but a lot of them that repeat themselves. And making this one into a pack level actor, it will um, save a ton on performance just by the way that thing is, doing things for you. No, no, no. I'm gonna go for at least another hour for the stream. Cursor is live. Yeah, no, still gonna be around. But no, Gitish was taking off. So yeah. Okay, so this is one of the levels, and the other one is the exteriors. So the exteriors have the same footprint, from what I could tell, as the interiors. So you can decide whether to use that or not. But um, you can select all of these, basically, like this entire house, and make it into a pack level actor. And then the interior, make that into a pack level actor with with a grid that's loading when you're up close to the house, so you don't need to show those actors until you're all the way up close to the house. And so that's what's cool about this particular package. So it has all these pre-built houses, um, and kind of there's a garage as well in it. So what I was thinking of doing for that little area is a couple of these kind of multi-apartment uh, houses, and turning this into a pack level actor and kind of trying to fill in that area. So that's what we're hopefully going to do this stream. And yeah, right now this one I've kind of started it because it basically started from this house. It basically started from this unit and it turned into this one. So if you think of it, there's like the front entrance, a couple of apartments on each side, and we'll turn this into a pack level actor and bring it into the main level. So let's get to it. Let's do it here. And this is exactly what I was talking about. There's like a bunch of these instances, and the pack level actor does such a nice job in turning them into, what you have here um, into a really optimized, well, single blueprint basically, without you having to merge it. So previously, and that's another method, like what I was doing is just merging assets. But it, once you merge it, you can't really go into it and edit it. Now, even with the pack level actor, you can't edit it as good as you could when it's in this state. So what I usually like to do is before I turn this into a pack level actor, I just duplicate it, and that way I can if I need to go back and recreate it or like make some edits, I can repack it into that pack level actor. All right, so let's see. Just getting these kind of this skirting around here. And yeah, the modularity of this package is quite impressive. Like I've played with a ton of other packages, um, but this one is really awesome when it comes to how modular things are. Okay, so now that the house is almost, kind of complete as far as the exterior goes, I'm gonna try and just duplicate it here. And let's create a pack level actor. And let's do this real quick. I wanted to show you kind of a comparison between that. I'm hoping I can do that kind of just from like a draw call standpoint. So we have this, they're basically the same, right? Let me kind of get them a little closer. So I'm hoping it's not going to take too much of everything else in the scene. But now we have two of these that are identical. And let's take a look at some of the stats for this stuff here. And let's make sure that I'm kind of hiding my, nope. So right now we're looking at, let's see, about 2115 for one piece. All right, so one of these is going to be, let's call it 1540. I'm hoping this is, actually, no, am I looking at, not looking at the right one? Yeah, but I'm looking at the right one. So 1540 draw calls. Let's see if this one matches, if it's around the same point. Yeah, there you go, 1540. This also probably accounts some of the tabs that I have open, and so it's not an indicative exactly of what this is. But let's go ahead and I'm going to turn this into a pack level actor, and I want to save this into my residential houses, And maps, pack level. Um, let's see, house 11 maybe. Not sure exactly why it needs to save. It also saves it into a level, but um, yes, okay. I'm gonna delete that. Oh, that's actually interesting. Let me, before I do this, come on. Okay, I guess it's, I guess it didn't go through. I wanted to ungroup some things because it seems to complain about some of these assets being, yeah, there he goes. That's always good to keep a copy. Um, so yeah, let me delete this first. I haven't tried creating a pack level actor where there's also groups involved. Apparently it doesn't really like it. So I'm gonna duplicate this here. All right, and let's see. I think it's Shift G to ungroup everything. Okay, so I think that ungrouped everything. Let's go ahead and just take another look at, make sure at 1540. Yep, that's about where it is. Are you planning to advertise for the game before posting? Yeah, I mean it's going to be like just the, um, the, uh, through YouTube, Twitter. I'm going to try and send it to a couple of folks to see if they'd be interested in playing it. But yeah, I still have a little bit of ways to go before I'm a little more confident with having content in it and not just like these sparse kind of locations that have nothing in between. So yeah, definitely, of course. And this is also part of the advertisement, I guess. Trying to stream and not so much so people see it and folks that join the stream can see the progress and all that. Okay, well, so let's try this again. Pack level actor and house 11. Yes, let's replace that. And then it creates this pack level house or pack level blueprint, so to speak. All right, so let's see, what do we get now for, and yeah, there you go. There's a change. That's about 200 draw calls for this one single asset. So this one, 1540. And over here, we're looking at 1250, 1240-ish. Yeah, there you go, right around 1250, 1260. So almost 200 draw calls less for the pack level actor. So yeah, that's a pretty big improvement if you ask me. Yeah. Oh, Atlantic. Yeah, thank you so much. And I think a lot of people found me that way, kind of just doing this. People ask questions, sometimes not necessarily about the game, but I'm happy to help. So if that also gets them interested in the game, even better. If not, hey, you know what? Um, hopefully my answer helped you with something. Okay, so yeah, there you go. There's one house. Let's try and use it. And I'm gonna go back into my favorite level here. We'll see how long this takes to load. The one thing that I'm noticing now, and this is first time experiencing or like looking at this. This one had a bunch of the um, as you can see, like I think it has like vertex paint on it, and that seemed to have not translated into this. I am not sure, and this is going to be a first for me, if you can paint over a level actor or over a pack level actor. I think you might not be able to. So those would probably need to be addressed with like decals or something like that. I wish there was a way, but I think, once you go into instance meshes, maybe not so much. I think probably the best way is going to be just through the material to do that, and that should be pretty easy to set it up so that the material has some wear to it and not you know, not brand new like that. Hisham, are you posting the game on Epic? So I'm gonna try and post them on both. I think I'm not sure what the process is with Epic, but Steam is it seems to be really easy. Like um, I think once you pay them the money, you can post pretty much anything on there. Um, so all right. Well, this is the area in question that is kind of lacking. Let's see if we can. Nope, I did not want to do that. I wanted to smooth it out. See what we can do over here and around here a little bit as well. We'll see how we can place some of those houses on like a kind of a multi-tier level here. So yeah. Okay, well, first house. Let me see where that is and grab it. There it is. So our little kind of multi-apartment little house. Let's see, I want to place this one, maybe start with one here in the corner. Like so. With the one right next to it. Like this. Kind of just a bunch of like the apartment complexes are in such a way. And then maybe we can use another one over here. Oops, that's a little too much. Come on, work with me here. Another one right in front of it. There we go. As I was thinking, maybe one of these roads. Oh yeah, this one's completely crooked. So we'll fix it. So yeah, Hisham, like I said, both both Epic Game and Steam. Because I think, you know, with Epic Games, they take a lot less than Steam does. I think Steam takes like 30% of it, and I think Epic is like, I believe 8. Don't quote me on it, but I think I know it's a lot less. Um, Epic Game is than Steam. Mm, maybe I don't want to do that. Let me quickly save. Usually Unreal likes to quit, likes to crash whenever you undo something. All right, so for this one, let's try like that. All right, that should be a little bit more. Just trying to gain a little bit more space for those houses. And we said this one is 900. There we go, something like that. All right. And just let's do a quick sculpt here. And now let's position these. And I need to adjust. I've never been happy with this over here. This little kind of hump. It's a little too steep. Let's see how we can sculpt the terrain and play with that. All right, that brings it a little bit closer to not be on a kind of a ridiculous slope. I think that might work. All right, so let's flatten some of this area here. Oh yeah, I think that should work. I didn't put in too much um, of an angle in this road, so that's good. And over here, I think this is gonna be fine as well. All right, well, let's continue with some of the sculpting. All right, and over here we'll also get a get a garage. Hey, RT, thank you so much. Mulțumesc frumos. Right on. Thank you for stopping by. All right. Well, I said I wanted to get this house in here. So let's see. This one I could flatten it to about here. Just like that. There we go for this area. Those are a little too tight for the kind of the change in elevation. So let's see, do we want to push this road a little further this way? Yes, I think I might want to do that. So at this point, let's just kind of scooch it over like this a little bit. There we go. That gives us a little bit more, so much space for activities. All right, move this a little bit farther this way. Okay, that's pretty good, and I can even lower it down a little more. There, okay. I think that's gonna work. I'm not sure why, but I do like kind of changes in elevation. Um, So maybe it's just me, but I've really enjoyed that when they do that in video games. So can we get that close to be to the bottom of that? Yeah, that's pretty good there. All right, that's cool. See, so this one here, this particular spline, I want to get the fall off. Let's see, what side is this on? I think it's going to be on this side. Let's see if we can. Um, yeah, I think that's going to help a little bit. And we might need this one as well over here. As you can see, not sure if you can notice, but with the fall off, there's this little dotted line. And that's how far like that extension of you being able to sculpt the road goes. So if I pull it all the way back to here, then the road is only going to sculpt this area, which is within the green markers. So now if I should be able to flatten this out again, and if I was to sculpt the road, it should only sculpt it to this line is what I'm going for. There you go. So you can see like this one is still up to that level, and here it can just be like a little step going down this way or something like that. Okay, so that's a little bit, fits with the road a little bit better. There's a couple of, or a number of these little houses in here. Another one can be added next to this just to fill in, filling in this area here. But let's finish this part here as well for these houses. They're kind of following the same idea, so to speak. And of course, if you've seen some of the work I've done previously, um, and now that I'm just noticing, I kind of should have added these um, to the residential houses level instance. But right now, it's kind of just playing around with the positioning. I can add those after that. But I was using some of these these cubes to add like a bit of like a basement to these, and also that way being able to extend it how it looks on a slope, so I wouldn't have to like sculpt the terrain so much. So I think that should help. Okay, let's see. I wanted to start maybe with this one over here and just position it street level from here. Maybe to about there. And we'll start adding some of these cubes. And once you have the cubes, that could be really easy into this pack level actor. And that kind of gets me thinking to this. Let's see. Yeah, the one thing that I'm not too happy with is, oh no, it's the entire system. Um, but yeah, welcome back. Yeah, it is annoying when it happens. So hopefully that's gonna work for the rest of the stream. And I'd really like to finish that area there. Hopefully we can get that done. Yeah, hey, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, exactly. It's I mean I wouldn't mind it, but it crashing the system is the stuff that I'm like, why? Hopefully I didn't. I mean, I might have lost like the placement of the house like when I kind of rotated it. I think I saved it right before that. So we'll see how much did we lose. I hope it didn't lose too much. So we'll see. Let's see what I compile and save with there. I do the same thing. I do the exact same thing at Lanigat because um like that autosave is just whenever I think I have it enabled, but whenever I see it as like okay autosave, but it doesn't really save anything. I'm not sure what it saves. If it's like if you can load the autosave from somewhere, but I'm safest bet is just to save it like a normal save. So let's I hope there wasn't too much of it lost. I mean, at least the plan was there. And yeah, because the other thing that I wanted to do is I um, I wanted to also bring in the the that little garage, just to fill in some of the areas. All right, well, let's see. If I look behind me, I was gonna look when I'm using Unreal 5 use Control Shift S. All I use it the same. I think it's once every 2, 3, 5 minutes. I use that. So oh, and another thing with the pack level actors, you'll notice that the number of actors in my world now is down to 14, almost 15,000 actors from like 27,000 actors, which is also another plus of them. Um, all right, well, not so much got lost. A little bit around here-ish. Yeah, oh yeah, I guess there was quite some losses. Oh man, a lot of it it's in place, but yeah, still quite some things missing. Imran, it I'm not sure if it's what does it do, but like I think it might be the NVIDIA drivers because they're known to have issues at times, especially on like the older cards, video cards. Um, and like the GPU Direct 3D or something like that crashed. I'm not sure if the 1070 supports the DirectX 12 that well. So it was pre DirectX 12 if I'm not mistaken, and that could be one of the reasons. But at this point, I'm just guessing. It crashed. Okay. Well, so back to what we originally were doing here. My apologies for that, guys. Hopefully, it's not going to happen again. But yeah, let's bring back what we started, and here's to hoping it doesn't do that again. And why do I am not able to see the splines? Yeah, that's why I wasn't able to see these. I was kind of wondering why can't I see these spline points to adjust these and try and get a little bit more space up in this area here. Let's do to 1200 just to be kind of a round number. And they usually whenever that crash happens, it's there's no real. I mean, it never happens at a time of when I'm doing something like computationally, intensive or anything like that. It's just completely random. There's no um, I could not um, equate it to anything. Just like now. I mean, I was streaming, but it has happened when I wasn't streaming. So it's not um, it really one of those things that just beats me. I have no idea why. So yeah, it is annoying. It definitely is. Um, such polygons. Exactly. All right, so kind of this area here for this house. And then we have enough space for this other house as well. That's good. But I said that I'm gonna move this off a little bit to the side there, and this one this way a little bit more, and kind of sink it down a little bit. Yeah, and I hadn't done any significant change or anything crazy. It's just like right in the middle of, and I think I was talking to you guys. I wasn't really doing anything. It just crashed. So, um, yeah. Hisham, if I want to start creating my dream game, excuse me, excuse me, my dream game, what do you think I should learn? What should I start with? Um, well, I mean, if you have an idea of what your ideal game is going to be, I would say, start with the mechanics, right? Because you want to make sure that you're able um, to do that properly as far as um, say combat, interactions, or like a specific type of inventory. I would um, I would do that first. Yeah. Let's see. Do you have any tutorial on landscape auto material? I think there's plenty of them out there. There's also like I'm not sure if that one's free anymore, but there's also like free packages on the marketplace. If you go to like everything that's free, I believe there's also some auto materials already in there that you can like dissect and look at. I do have a tutorial series on materials, but that was on Unreal Engine 4. I mean, the concepts still apply, when it comes to like runtime virtual textures and material functions. It doesn't apply to tessellation anymore, unfortunately, which is sad. I'm not sure if they're going to bring it back. I think they have something like Nanite Landscape, but um, yeah. So Imran, hopefully that gives you an idea. And if you ping me on Discord, I can see if I can find something for you. So yeah, Hisham, it's a really great question, but I think mechanics is what I would start with. You know, if I would have known this, one of those things, if I could talk to myself from like, 10 years ago, I would start with, look at mechanics first, especially if it's like for a video game. If it's just, visual stuff and all that, that part doesn't really matter. But yeah, if it's mechanics, if it's video game, start with mechanics and see exactly how easy you can achieve, what you need to achieve some of those. Yeah, and the bare bone basics definitely are definitely the way to do it. Thank you, Atlantica. If you're a beginner game designer, don't try for your dream game. Try and finish it. And that's true as well, James. like I think for myself, I might have um, I should have done it that way, now, looking back and thinking about it. But at the same time, I don't regret starting it because I think it also matters how much focus you can put into something. Like if um, I was really invested into this project, so I I kind of use my entire focus to it, and that's why I never really like veered off course, so to speak. Um, and yeah, I started learning, and with this project, it could have been, probably should have been like a simpler project to start learning, but uh, yeah, yeah, there you go. That's exactly true, James. I totally feel you. And as somebody that hasn't studied any of that, I mean, just kind of by doing and self-taught type of stuff. Um, I wish I would have had something like that to probably help me with the structure. So yeah, that's why sometimes it's difficult. Let's see, I think that should give me enough space up in here. Just expanding this a little bit more. Oh, really? Yeah, that's what's sometimes I think um, it can it can become difficult. Um, and to some extent, it might demoralize in some regards, like um, I'm about to give up, game development, um, and just because, like, you're saying Atlantica, um, technology changes, scope changes, and that's sometimes it makes it difficult. And, people might be like, I've had it. I've tried it. Uh, this is it for my, game development journey. But yeah, I think there's a saying, nothing that is worth doing is easy. So, um, so Imran, just starting learning by doing instead of learn and then do. And that's how I exactly that's how I did it. Like I had this thing in mind, ambitious be it, but I just started doing it and learn it step by step, and eventually I'm doing something, of course. It's like I said, it's a long process, but it's getting somewhere. So yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly so, Atlantica, you made a great point because that's what I do sometimes. I feel down at times, so I just take a break, for a few days or something. I just do something completely different, like either work around the house or, like paint something on, I got stuff to paint around the house, or, something totally unrelated, or play a video game. And at that point, it kind of, pulls me back in, and I'm kind of coming at it with kind of renewed type passion and, looking at it. And Imran, I'm just trying to get out of tutorial hell. And in the beginning, that's difficult. And that's why I usually recommend folks to do like tutorial series, not just single tutorials and like jump from one thing to the next, or like kind of just completely different tutorials. Instead of like a tutorial series would take you through some basics of a simple task, that you end up with a result that you can like actually play around and maybe shoot at something. So that if you do something like that, that you have an end thing at the once you're done with it, it gives you satisfaction. And I think if you don't get any satisfaction out of something that you do, it's gonna end up being a little demoralizing, um, and you might end up quitting because you know what, I've spent so much time on these tutorials, I don't have anything to show for. So yeah. Oh, thank you, James. Yeah, I'm happy that you found some tricks that I probably stumbled upon. Uh, yeah. I think you need a driver for those houses as well. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. But I'm not like it could be one like behind them, like going around here. Maybe joining them like this, like kind of a dirt road, because I want to put another house over here and maybe a garage over here. So I think I'll put like the main structures in place, Imram, and then I'll with the garages, and then I'll see what I can like put in, kind of there be some like some of these cars packed back there, and see if there's like a little bit of a, because that's a great thought to have something going in between here somewhere, like around this area to do that. Yeah, that's James, that's a perfect way to put it. The only prerequisite to being a game designer is wanting to create games. That's exactly it. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of it, I think it seems like nowadays the indie studios are doing better than like the big name studios. And I think it's mostly because a lot of people that work in like, like the Rockstars, the Bethesdas, these places, uh, I think it's easier to feel burned out, and you're kind of like just a number in a chain of people. And when you're like in an indie studio, you actually feel like you did something, big, you know. Um, so I'm I'm happy that indie studios are doing good, I have to say. And uh, I'm, whenever there's like an indie project that I follow and I like, I buy it usually a full price. I don't wait for like a sale or anything like that. Just to support them. Oh yeah, there you go, Atlantica. Same thing around the house. Exactly. And James, be careful taking breaks because the moment is easy lost. Exactly. That's true as well. I mean, I never like I think the longest that I've taken a break from game development was like the week, like a work week, not working, Monday through Friday in the evenings. I think that was the longest break that I've taken. So yeah. And that, oh yeah, Atlantica, exactly. Same here. Coming back um, from a quick break, it's just like renewed type of vision, and you like look at things maybe in a different way. And you're like, oh, how come I didn't think about doing it that way? So yeah, let's quickly save this here. Isham, did you create the animation by yourself? Um, there are some that I've created, but like very basic stuff, like bringing up like an item or handing an item like when the NPC hands you the bow or hands you like the tablet. That's something I've created myself. So basic stuff like that. Everything else is either like some free package that was off of like a monthly free thing on the marketplace, or um, Miximo. We live in a time where one person has the power of a studio. Oh, totally. That's definitely true. That's definitely true. Hisham, where did you get the walking, running these? Oh, so that's a ALS, Advanced Locomotion System, I believe it's the acronym, or the acronym is ALS. Yeah, So advanced locomotion system, that's what I use. Yeah. All right. Well, so we have this house here, which is positioned. We have this one's here, which is positioned in place. I gotta figure out what to do about these two. Let's try this. I'm gonna try and flatten that out because this one's a little too high. I think this one I can work out um, with some of those. Let's see. Did you make an IK rig? Yes, I did make an IK rig to transfer the animations between, to transfer, to retarget the Mixamo animations over um, to the MetaHuman slash ALS. I also have the old plugin version of the Mixamo retargeter, and sometimes I use that if my rig doesn't work, the result doesn't look so good. I use that one, but that one's only like I only have the 4.27 version, so I have to like import the animation into 4.27 and do it that way, which is fine, it's no biggie. All right, so what I was thinking is here, I would do one thing that I can't, actually, I'm not entirely sure if I can, would be nice if I can bring these into an existing, let's try it. I've never tried this. If I can go into and edit this one and then paste. Oh, hey, that actually works. That's pretty cool. I've never tried this. Like, you know, Control X, cut and paste from one level into another level instance. There you go. I guess we have our answer. Seems to work. So now I can try and like get some of these blocks here, along with these support type things. And this is the perfect usage, I think, for like one of those world positioned, or what do you call it, materials that you can like put in uh, you don't need to put in like these individual blocks like I have here, like a stonemason or something, and you could have them just as a what would you call it? Just one object. So I'll definitely look into that. Not gonna bore you guys with it today, but hopefully I'll take a look and see if I can make that simpler and hopefully show it tomorrow. So now it's the selection part of things. We'll see how well we can position this around that house. I think the main reason that I use the cube is that it's using this, uh, on one side it's got some windows, on one side it doesn't. So I think that's what I was, the rationale behind using it. All right, so we have some of it. Let's see how it works on one of these corners. Oh, not too bad. Oh, well, that's actually better than expected. I I mean, this little siding's got that little lip that also um, hides some of this uh, what do you call these brick blocks? I know there's like a name for this type of brick. Yeah. Anyways, but there we go. So that's pretty good. I think I can start flattening it here, and this would be like an exit with like some kind of steps going down here. That should be pretty good. All right, well, let's also finish off this corner on this side. Just to about there, hopefully. That should be good there. There we go. We got two corners for the basement. And then I'll do the other ones as well. But now let's go ahead and commit the changes to this. I'll need to pull these supports down a little bit. They look a little odd on top of that, but I just wanted to sculpt the terrain out here. No, and actually that should have been to this level here. And then we can do a simple ramp like that. There we go. House with the basement. House with the basement. Nice. So I think I'm actually going to jump into this level and then place another one of these over here. And I need to just move this off the road. There we go. And I need to probably, from this create um, another one of these houses just to add a little bit more variety. But again, it's going to be, with the pack level actor, it's just going to be really, really easy. And I already have them in that other level, so um, not too complicated to move some of these pieces around, being so modular, and create a brand new one. All right, so let's kind of place this a little bit further that way. Maybe, yeah, I'm gonna delete this and I'm gonna try and just find like a simple, just one, like a house unit, not necessarily like um, kind of like an apartment type of situation. Yeah, okay. Let's finish off the terrain here and try and position some of these fences to end the stream for today. And later on, I'll probably go in and kind of do the grunt work of moving some of these things around and completing the basement area. Yeah. Okay. And this kind of gives me an idea to reuse some of the stuff that we've already have, namely, and this is the neat feature in 5.3, you got that little thing that you can exit. So, one of these setups from here, like one of these stair sections, to use them over here, because I think that's what we made these. So this could be used for something over here. Yeah. Well, I mean, not in that shape, but um, so that you can like go up the stairs and that way. So 5.3 is out of preview. So 5.3, I'm not sure if they call it production ready at this point, but it's not a preview. I think 5.4 is in preview at the moment. So that's the one that I'm waiting for more than any, or I would say more than anything, but yeah. All right, let's see about, let's quickly save and then flatten some of this surface. Oh yeah, no worries. But no, this is 5.3. That's what I migrated this week from 5.2 onto 5.3. And yeah, so far so good. There were some things that I had to fix for whatever reason. My test level was not loading. I have no idea why, but yeah, it just wasn't loading. And I had to fix that. There were some issues that I had to take care of. All right, let's try and see about how we're gonna do this surface here. Um, kind of thinking what I had here before was actually one of these big guys. Um, so I might just see if I can use that to set the slope there. Let's see how how this might work. Since I've been using this mesh quite a lot, why not make use of it? And here is where that little road might go, Imran. And again, I'm sorry for butchering folks' names. There we go. So something like that. So what that might help with is in here, I could flatten it to this target and actually like fill it all the way up to that level, to that edge. And without, yeah, it's kind of getting a little bit there. But this one, flatten it again, reduce the fall off. And there, just like that. So here, yeah, this is kind of what I was going for. Something like that, that you can like bring in this lip to the edge of the cliff, so to speak, and have this little space in between here. So yeah, there we go. Now we almost have these that we can go back in, and there we go. So that's pretty nice with that scatter tool that we can get those in there. And this part here, let's reduce the number of instances. Bring it all the way to there. And then this one is almost in place, I think. I'm not sure if at this point is I just need to upgrade to Windows 11 or something like that because it's done this like twice today. It hasn't done it in this entire week, and yeah, it is frustrating. Um, Today it didn't. Also, Windows didn't boot up like it boot up on like the third try, so I'm not sure if um, it's also on its way out or something. But yeah, I think it's probably a good time a good time to call it. My apologies for the interruptions. Uh, they're frustrating, and yeah. So and oh, one thing that I wanted to mention, and I should post it in Discord as well. If it's of interest to anybody, yeah. Thank you so much, Alanika. Good to have you. Good to have you. And no worries, no worries. It happens. It happens. And I think instead of upgrading to it, you should optimize Windows. I think that's a good idea too. I'm not entirely sure what else I can do to optimize it, especially since I mentioned before that this is an old PC I bought some years ago, and I did not think of asking for the Windows key. So when I did my upgrade, I I got hit with the well, Windows can't verify this, so verify, log in again and put in your Windows key. And and that's exactly some of the things that I'm hearing from folks is the same, like they some people reverted back to Windows 10. But but yeah, I need to. I'm not sure if I can figure out what's going on. If again, it's a really old video card. I'm not sure if that's that's the reason why it's doing it. I'll see if it's going to continue on doing it today or something. But yeah, I'll if you have any tips on optimizing Windows 10, do send me a DM. But yeah, one thing that I wanted to bring up to you guys, if anybody's yeah, back up your work. That's exactly what I do. I try to like save as often, GitHub as often, and yeah, stay ahead of the Windows issues slash system issues. But what I wanted to show you guys, if anybody's interested, um, shameless self promotion here, but I do have like a Sketchfab page. If anybody's looking for some, there's a bunch of like random models in here. If you guys are looking for some stuff to download, um, there's a bunch of random stuff that I have on here. If you're just looking for some stuff, yeah, that was just a kind of a self promotion. But like I said, hopefully people might have find something useful. Some people have, so you never know. Yeah, been a long time, 3 Die. Well, welcome. Unfortunately, it was just about I was just about to end the stream. We've had some crashes with Direct 3D device being removed or something. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe my video card is not seated well, and that's why it's doing it. I might have to like try and unplug it and plug it back in. That sometimes does it. Thank you, Imran. Thank you so much. Uh, okay. So, yeah, Atlantica, did you update? Were you asking me about update or Imran? All right, thank you so much, Imran, for the message. Oh, the graphics driver. Actually, no. I believe. Let me see. I am on an older version of it. Where is it? Here, I think. Because um, Or no, is it GeForce Experience? I think it's this one here that shows you the graphics drivers. Yeah, so mine is that's 319. Mine is, I think, way older than that. I can't remember what version it is, but that's a good thought. I'll do that as well. See if that helps. I've been kind of burned with the latest drivers from NVIDIA before, so I'm probably gonna try and upgrade it. See what it goes, how it does. Hopefully that addresses it. Because I mean, again, I've actually, now that I think about it, I've noticed this happening with 5.3. So it could be the graphics driver. That's a great thought, Atlantica. Thank you. I'll try and upgrade that. See if it does. I'll do that right after this, and we'll see how it does today, tomorrow morning. Yeah. Hey, 3 yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow. Again, it's just at 1 p.m. is when I'm usually streaming. So hopefully, I'll see you then. I think it might be French in France. Is that like 6 p.m.? I think. I think it might be 6. So yeah. But anyways, um, thank you guys so much again for stopping by, and I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, with less issues than today. That's my hope. Okay. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your Saturday or, Sunday morning. So, yeah, take care. Bye.